Hello everyone, my name is Aastha and I welcome you all to our classes for the International English Olympiad Class 4th. Today is our 17th class. We have definitely come a long way. Today we will be studying the strategies for solving the reading comprehension. Now reading comprehension is one thing for which there can be no definite answer. You anyway have to go there and you have to read that story or poem or anecdote, whatever is provided to you at the exact time, at that very instant, and then only you will be solving the questions. However, what we can do here is we can try and form a strategy on how to exactly understand the reading comprehension and how to solve it quickly and timely. So these strategies we will be discussing. This will be followed by a few sample questions provided as per the pattern of IEO. And these questions are taken as reference from the book of MTG Publications, which is one of the many books which are available in the market for IEO study. You can choose any of these books for your reference. So let's start today's class.
So first of all, let's start with understanding what exactly is comprehension. Now, comprehension means the ability to understand what you listen or what you read. It is an exercise which aims at improving or testing one's ability to understand a language. Now, comprehension is nothing but your simple ability to understand what you have listened to or what you are read. Now, जो भी आप सुन रहे हैं या फिर पढ़ रहे हैं, in this case we will be doing a reading comprehension. तो आप जो भी पढ़ रहे हैं उसको आपको जितना आपको समझ आया है, जितना आपको comprehend हुआ है, that is basically comprehension. And this exercise, ये जो comprehension की exercise है, how does it help? It aims at improving or testing one's ability to understand a language. Now, जो भी आप read कर रहे हैं, English, that is in English language. So, this will help in testing, first of all, and also improving. Because as I have told you time and again that you should involve English in your life. मतलब आपको इंग्लिश अगर आप बोलना शुरू कर देंगे, पढ़ना शुरू कर देंगे, लिखना शुरू कर देंगे, then these grammar topics जो हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं, जो हम लोग कर रहे हैं, they will come so naturally to you, and you won't really have to memorize the rules or anything. You will just have to understand. You will just have to read and write and speak and listen to, and everything will come to you very naturally. Alright, so जो comprehension की जो exercise है, this is just your ability to understand what you have, what you listen or what you read, and this will overall help in overall improvement and testing of your understanding of the English language. Alright. Now we have understood what comprehension is, and now we will move on towards कि जो facets होते हैं अलग-अलग comprehension में वो क्या-क्या होंगे. First of all, now you will be given, just a minute, yes. So first of all, you will be given either any passage or any paragraph or a poem. Right, you will be given any of these, either a passage or one paragraph or a poem. Poem is the poetry, paragraph makes single paragraph, a passage which involving a number of paragraphs. Right, and then these paragraphs, second point, these paragraphs, they show the idea or mood concerning various issues and the solutions that the author provides. ये जो paragraphs होंगे इसमें एक central idea होगा, एक central mood होगा. जिसमें अलग अलग तरीके के जो इश्यूज हैं उनके जो सॉल्यूशंस हैं दे विल बी प्रोवाइडेड बाय द ऑथर. राइट, ये जैसे जैसे हम कॉम्प्रिहेंशन करेंगे वैसे वैसे आपको समझ आएगा व्हेन वी विल बी डूइंग द एग्जांपल्स. And third thing, your main task will be to answer the questions asked from the passage, which means what you will have to do is कि जो आपने पैराग्राफ या पैसेज या पोम पढ़ा है उसका जो आपने सेकंड पॉइंट के हिसाब से जो आपने आइडिया, मूड, इश्यूज, सॉल्यूशंस जो भी आपने पढ़े हैं उसमें से आपने जो भी अंडरस्टैंड किया है उसको आप अप्लाई कहाँ करेंगे? अप्लाई करेंगे जो क्वेश्चंस होंगे. Your main task will be to answer the questions asked from the passage. All right. So this will be your overall approach, your overall strategy for solving the comprehension. Okay. Now here we are talking about the requisite skills. Requisite skills का मतलब होता है जो basic skills हमें चाहिए for understanding, for understanding and for doing the reading comprehension. First is the logical ability. Logical ability कैसे कि जो भी situation हो रही है, जो भी sentences, जो भी आपको paragraph दिया है, जो भी आइडिया, थीम बताया है या कोई इशू बताया है उसको लॉजिक के हिसाब से आपको उसकी क्रोनोलॉजी समझना एंड उसका इंटरप्रिटेशन जो है वो लॉजिकली करना. सिमिलरली सेकंड इज द एबिलिटी टू इन्फर. द एबिलिटी टू इन्फर. इन्फर मतलब एक इन्फरेंस ड्रॉ करना. जैसे अगर आपको जो भी सिचुएशन दी है, जो भी स्टोरी दी है या पोम दी है उसमें से आपको कंक्लूजन क्या ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं. ऑलराइट. सिमिलरली थर्ड विल बी द एनालिटिकल एबिलिटी. नाउ एनालिटिकल एबिलिटी होती है बेसिकली किसी भी इशू की, किसी भी सिनेरियो की हम उसका जो भी उसमें पॉजिटिव था या जो भी उसमें नेगेटिव था एक उसकी क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस करना. तो we need the analytical ability. Right. Then we have reasoning ability. Reasoning, logic and reasoning, these abilities, these skills, they go hand in hand. कि आप लॉजिक लगा पाओगे तभी आप उसके रीजंस अंडरस्टैंड कर पाएंगे और उसके रीजंस इन्फर कर पाएंगे. Alright. Then another one is the ability to understand the main motive or the idea of the author. कि जो comprehension है, जो passage, paragraph या poem है उसमें main idea, main motive क्या है author का. Alright. Similarly, we have reading speed. Now, suppose if you are given a 10-line paragraph and if you take 10 minutes only to read that paragraph, then your reading speed is very slow, which means कि आप questions time पे ख़त्म नहीं कर पाएंगे. Alright, so ये comprehension जो होता है ये आपकी reading speed भी test करता है. Similarly, vocabulary part. Vocabulary में हमने शुरू में क्या किया था? हमने 3 चीजें समझी थी. Synonyms, Antonyms and homophones. प्लस क्या क्या आएगा इसमें vocabulary में? और इसमें और भी आएंगी चीजें which will be spellings. ठीक है, spellings, and then this will also include our one word substitution. Right, now vocabulary में बहुत सारी चीजें आती हैं. हमने पढ़ा spellings आ गए, one word substitution आ गया, homophones आ गया, synonyms आ गया, antonyms आ गया. So you see, now vocabulary is not just कि आपको word meanings पता हो, but vocabulary में हम ये भी कह सकते हैं कि हमने हमारे लिए proverbs and idioms are also some sort of vocabulary only. क्योंकि ये आपकी जो इंग्लिश के वेरियस वर्ड्स हैं, वेरियस फ्रेजेस हैं, उसी की जो आपकी नॉलेज होती है, जो आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग होती है, उसी को हम सिंपली वोकैबुलरी कहते हैं. तो बहुत सारे एस्पेक्ट्स आपके टेस्ट होते हैं रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन में ही. ऑलराइट, so these were the overall skills which are required and the skills जो हमारी टेस्ट भी होंगी किस चीज में, रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन में. All right, so now let's move on. All right, so here I have given you a few tips. Now, a few tips to understand and to go about the reading comprehension. Now, first important thing is to read the passage as fast as possible. Now, why am I saying that we should read the passage as fast as possible? It is because now it's such a long passage that will be given. बाकी questions में क्या होता है? Suppose synonyms निकालना है, आपने आपको synonym दिया and the word is happy. You quickly read the 4 options, you decide which is the synonym of happy and you answer that. But in the passage में क्या होता है, जब तक आप पूरा passage नहीं पढ़ेंगे तो आप उसका एक भी question answer नहीं कर पाएंगे. You have to read the complete passage for answering the questions. So it is very important to read the passage as fast as possible. और एक पैसेज का एक क्वेश्चन तो नहीं होता, एक पैसेज में देयर विल बी आई थिंक 3 to 4 क्वेश्चंस एट लीस्ट, एंड सो एक पैसेज के हिसाब से यू विल बी सॉल्विंग 4 to 5 क्वेश्चंस. सो यू हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल एंड यू हैव टू रीड द पैसेज एज फास्ट एज पॉसिबल सो दैट आप उसे जल्दी से पढ़ें, जल्दी से समझें और क्वेश्चंस कर पाएं सॉल्व. एंड द सेकंड थिंग इज get involved with the paragraph to understand it. Get involved with the paragraph. अब यहाँ get involved with the paragraph मैं क्यों बोल रही हूँ, उसका मतलब क्या होता है? Get involved with the paragraph means कि जो भी हम थीम पढ़ रहे हैं ना, जो भी हम क्या कहते हैं, जो भी पैसेज का सेंट्रल आइडिया है, सेंट्रल मूड है या फिर जो भी इशू है, तो हम उसके साथ इन्वॉल्व हो जाओ. मतलब यू नो ट्राई स्टार्ट टू इमेजिन कि आपके साथ ही वो पैराग्राफ हो रहा है या फिर जो भी स्टोरी है, यू आर इन दैट पैराग्राफ. क्योंकि उससे आप ये जब इन्वॉल्व हो जाओगे तो आप उसमें अपनी लॉजिक भी लगाने लग जाओगे, आप उसमें अपना रीजनिंग भी लगाने लग जाओगे. ऑलराइट, उसको एनालाइज भी करना शुरू कर दोगे कि ये पॉजिटिव है, ये नेगेटिव है. तो इसीलिए कहते हैं गेट इन्वॉल्व विद द पैराग्राफ. जैसे मैं आपसे कहती हूँ कि यू शुड इन्वॉल्व इंग्लिश इन योर लाइफ, उस तरीके से गेटिंग इन्वॉल्व विद द पैराग्राफ. ऑलराइट, नाउ द थर्ड थिंग इज underline the important lines or parts of the passage to answer the questions. Underline the important parts or lines to answer the questions. It will also help to understand the main idea of the passage or the tone or the mood of the author. Now जो important parts हैं, जैसे किसी चीज का कोई benefit है, या फिर किसी चीज की कोई लिमिटेशन है या फिर कोई टर्निंग पॉइंट है, जो भी आपको इम्पोर्टेंट लगे यू शुड अंडरलाइन दैट. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप पूरा पैसेज ही अंडरलाइन कर दो, जो भी आपको इम्पोर्टेंट लगे वो वर्ड अंडरलाइन कर दिया बस, या फिर कोई लाइन इम्पोर्टेंट लगी उसे अंडरलाइन कर दिया, उसको स्टार मार्क कर दिया, उस तरीके से. So this what will this do? It will also help to understand the main idea. जो सेंट्रल थीम होगा ना पैसेज का, this will help you in understanding that, and the tone or the mood of the author as well. So ये जो आप underline करोगे कि उसमें the author is angry or the author is sad or they're happy, they're trying to tell you something, और tone मतलब जैसे किस सेंस में वो आपको कहना चाह रहे हैं, कि आपसे वो कोई अपील कर रहे हैं या कोई इंस्पायर करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं किसी चीज़ के लिए, या एनालाइज करने के लिए मोटिवेट कर रहे हैं. तो जो इम्पोर्टेंट वर्ड्स से आपको दिस विल हेल्प यू इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट. Alright, so these were the quick few overall tips जिसमें आपको पैसेज जल्दी जल्दी पढ़ना है. जल्दी जल्दी का मतलब ये नहीं कि आप बिल्कुल समझो ही ना. एज फास्ट एज पॉसिबल का मतलब ये भी है कि आपको जितनी जो आपकी स्पीड जिसमें आपको समझ आए उतना फास्ट एज पॉसिबल. ये नहीं कि सबसे तेज पढ़ लिया पर आंसर गलत दे दिया, and that will be of no use, right? And second is getting involved with the paragraph to understand it. आप उसे फील करेंगे, आप उसे एक्सप्रेस करेंगे, इन्वॉल्व हो जाएंगे तो आपको अच्छे से समझ आएगा, अच्छे से लॉजिक लगा पाएंगे आप. Then underline the important lines or parts of the passage to answer the questions, and it will also help to understand the main idea, the central idea, or the tone and or the mood of the author. Alright, so these were the few quick overall tips. Now let's move on to the next slide. Alright, so now is the time for our quiz. We shall be starting with the quiz now, and in the quiz हम किस format में लेंगे कि पहले हम एक रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन की स्लाइड आएगी जिसमें हम रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन पढ़ेंगे. मैं आपको समझाऊंगी कि रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन में क्या है. उसके बाद फ्रॉम द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड ऑनवर्ड्स उसी रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन के जितने भी क्वेश्चंस हैं वो पर क्वेश्चन यू विल गेट 1 मिनट, जैसे ही हमारे बाकी क्वेश्चंस में होता है. रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन में एडिशनल बस ये है कि हर रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन को आई विल फर्स्ट एक्सप्लेन इट टू यू कम्प्लीटली. उसमें अगर कोई नए वर्ड मीनिंग्स हो या कुछ अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो, उसकी एनालिसिस हो, तो वी विल डू दैट in the first slide, and then questions के लिए this will be followed by the similar exercise जो पहले होती आई है. Alright, let's start. Now for every question you will be given 1 minute. 1 minute, 60 seconds you will be given as per the timer. Now for why am I giving you 60 seconds? Because for every IEO question you are given more than 60 seconds in the final exam. तो मैंने सेफ साइड पे आपको 1 मिनट दिया है. अब इसमें दो कैटेगरी ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स होंगे. वन कैटेगरी जो लेस देन 1 मिनट में अपने क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर लेते हैं. तो जब ये कर लेते हैं तो यू शुड तो अगर आपने जल्दी क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर लिया तो आप फास्ट फॉरवर्ड करके आप आंसर देख लीजिए. पर वो कैटेगरी जो स्टूडेंट्स ये 1 मिनट में आंसर नहीं दे पाते हैं, तो आपको डिसहार्टन नहीं होना है, दुखी नहीं होना है. आप पॉज करें और पहले अपना आंसर दें. जो भी आंसर आपको लग रहा है सही है वो आप आंसर लिखें, उसके बाद ही आप आंसर देखें. ये यू शुड मेक श्योर कि आप कोई भी क्वेश्चन स्किप ना करें, आप सबके आंसर दें, चाहे वो सही हो या गलत, वो सेकेंडरी चीज है. मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट इज कि आप पहले आंसर दें. Okay, so and for every correct answer you give yourself 10 points, and for every incorrect answer no points. Why no points? Because IEO में there is no negative marking. आपका आंसर चाहे गलत हो या फिर आपने आंसर नहीं किया हो तो आपको 0 ही मिलेगा. Okay, so it is better कि सपोज अगर आप किसी क्वेश्चन में कंफ्यूजन है कि इसका आंसर क्या होगा, नहीं समझ आया, तो आपने उसे छोड़ना नहीं है, आपने उसको आंसर करना है. और चाहे आपको लग रहा हो कि ये शायद ये आंसर सही हो सकता है बी या सी में से, तो आप उसे पक्का पॉइंट आउट करके आओ, मतलब उसे OMR शीट पे मार्क करके आओ, बिकॉज देयर आर चांसेस कि वो आपका आंसर सही हो जाए. ऑलराइट, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट. Okay, so now this is the first passage. Read the following passages and answer the questions that follow. तो हम ये the first passage is the milkmaid and her pail of milk. So let's start reading this Let's start reading this passage now. So the first passage goes like this. A milkmaid was on her way to the market. On her head, she carried a large pail of milk. As she walked along, she thought of all the money she would have as soon as she sold the milk. Now, here is the protagonist is a milkmaid. What about the milkmaid? She was on her way to the market. She was going to the market, and on her head, she was carrying a large pail of milk. पेल जो है पेल हम कहते हैं एक तरीके कंटेनर को फॉर एग्जाम्पल दिस सॉर्ट ऑफ अ कंटेनर समथिंग लाइक दिस जिसमें मिल्क था so she was carrying this on her head. All right, now as she walked along, जैसे जैसे she was walking towards the market, उसके दिमाग में क्या thoughts आ रहे थे? She thought of all the money she would have as soon as she sold the milk. Now she had this pail of milk on her head. She was carrying it to the market, and while going to the market, she was thinking. What were the thoughts in her mind? She was thinking about कि उसके पास कितना सारा money आएगा when she will sell the milk that she has in her pail. So she was thinking about all the revenue and all the money she was going to generate. Okay, now let's see what happens next. I shall buy hens from Farmer Brown, she thought, and they will lay eggs every day. I will sell the eggs to the person's wife. She will pay me well. Now she is thinking about what will happen after she sells the milk that she has, and what will she do of all that money. Now she's thinking that first of all, what will she do? She will buy hens from Farmer Brown. There must have been some Farmer Brown, some person जिसका नाम है Farmer Brown, and she's thinking I shall buy hens from Farmer Brown's. मैं उससे hens खरीदूंगी, and then जो hens होंगी, they will lay eggs every day. Then what will she do for the eggs? I will sell the eggs to the parson's wife, and then she will start selling the eggs as well, and she will pay me well. So वो cycle, she's making a cycle. She's making this particular cycle कि जो milk है, milk से क्या होगा? Milk से she will buy the money she gets. She will buy a hen, and जो hen आएगी, hen she will start giving eggs. All right, various eggs, number of eggs, and the hen lays eggs every day, so she will get more money. Then with the money from the eggs, I will buy myself a new frock and bonnet. What color shall they be? I think green. A lovely green, for that color becomes me best. Now when I go to the market, I will wear my new clothes. All the young men will want to speak to me, of course, but I shall pretend not to see them. Now she is making all these scenarios in her head. Now what happened was, first of all, she thought about the milk and the money from the milk. From that money, she is going to buy a hen. Then that hen will lay eggs. She will sell those eggs. When she gets money from these eggs, she will buy herself new frock and bonnet. Now these are new clothes that she will buy for herself. What color shall they be? Now she's also started thinking of the colors of the clothes that she's planning to buy. A lovely green, for that color becomes me best, which means she's trying to say that green color suits me best, so I will buy a green color dress. And when I go to the market, I will wear my new clothes. Then she's thought about the clothes, and then she's also thought about wearing them when she goes to the market next. जब वो market जाएगी, अपने नए कपड़े भी पहनेंगी. And after that, all the young men will want to speak to me, of course. but I shall pretend not to see them. Matlab, whoever, and there will be young men in the market, and they will, they will be attracted towards her, but she will pretend not to see them. When they follow me, I shall walk proudly on. So even if the young men follow her, she will be walking proudly, and she will not pay any attention to the men. Now I'll toss my head like this. And with that she tossed her head. The pail slipped off from her head, and the milk spilled all over the ground. The milkmaid brought her empty pail and her sad tail home to her mother. "Ah, my daughter," said her mother, "do not count your chickens before they are hatched." Alright, so here you see what happened was, so then she said, then when these young men, they will follow her, what she will do, she will walk proudly on, and then she'll toss her, and then she says, "I'll toss my head like this," and with that she tossed her head. So now when she's imagining all this, that I will sell off this milk, I'll get this hen, and then I'll get those eggs, I will sell these eggs as well. So while thinking about all these scenarios, what happens, she also thinks about that how she'll toss her head when she's walking proudly. And then she tosses her head, and when she tosses her head, what happens is the pail, it slips off from her head, and the milk spills all over the ground. So the milk is spilled all over the ground when she tosses her head. The pail slips and the milk spills all over the ground. And then when she goes back home and tells her mother her sad tale, her sad story, her mother says, "Ah, my daughter, do not count your chickens before they are hatched." Now, do not count your chickens before they are hatched. Now, this is what? This is one of our proverbs. What does this mean? This actually means that, unless and until you have, achieved your results, you should not start getting happy already. मतलब जब तक आपका concrete कोई चीज achieve ना हो जाए, you should not start getting happy, and because those efforts, they might turn as futile, and इनका कोई relevance नहीं रहेगा. So this was the story of the milkmaid and her pail of milk. Now we'll start doing various questions. All right. Okay, so the first question says, where was the milkmaid going? जो milkmaid थी वो कहाँ जा रही थी? Now the options are A, to sell eggs to the parson's wife, B, to buy hens from Farmer Brown, C, to the market to sell a pail of milk, and D, to the market to buy a lovely dress. Now this is a pretty easy question if you have understood the complete passage. जैसे कि हमने स्टार्टिंग में ही देखा था कि मिल्कमेड कहाँ जा रही थी. A milkmaid was on her way to the market. Where was she going? She was going to the market. That we know. And where did all this story start from? It started from the pail of milk. So on her head she carried a large pail of milk, and as she walked along she thought of all the money she would have as soon as she sold the milk. So where was she going? She was going to the market. And why? To sell the milk, because that's where the story started. That she would go to the market, sell the milk, then get the money, buy a hen, and so on and so forth. So the correct answer is C. To the market to sell a pail of milk. Alright. Now we have another question. This one says, what would she do? What would she buy after selling the milk? Now for this you have to understand what did she think about first. Like here, as soon as she sold the milk, then what did she think about? I shall buy hens from Farmer Brown. Now here you see in this here, where is it? Yes, I shall buy hens from Farmer Brown. So what does she think about first? She thinks about buying eggs, buying hens from who? Farmer Brown. So what are our options? Our options are, what would she buy after selling milk? A. Hens from Farmer Brown. B. Eggs from the parson's wife. C. A new dress. D. None of these. So the correct answer here is hens from Farmer Brown. Correct answer is A. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so here the next question says, what did she plan to do with the money from the eggs? Now for this you have to remember the cycle that she talked about. First she talked about getting the milk and then selling of the milk. Then after the milk is sold, she would buy hens from Farmer Brown. And then these hens will lay eggs every day. Then she will, what will she do with the eggs? She will sell the eggs to the parson's wife. Where is it? It's here. I will sell the eggs to the parson's wife. Here it is. So let's see the question. Now the options are A. Buy a blue frock and bonnet. B. Buy a green frock and bonnet. C. Buy a red frock. And D. Buy a white frock. So here, then she will sell the eggs to the parson's wife. After that, what happens? She will pay me well with the money from the eggs. Now here, first we saw that she will sell the eggs to the parson's wife. Then what will she do? This will be followed by, I will buy myself a new frock and bonnet. And here is the question, what color shall they be? I think green, a lovely green. And why so? For that color becomes me best. Now this one means कि green मेरे पे सबसे अच्छा लगता है. That's why I'm going to buy a green frock and bonnet. Alright, so the correct answer here is B. Buy a green frock and bonnet. Alright, let's move on to the next question. So here the question says, what happened to her dreams in the end? What happened to her dreams in the end? We know that in the end, you see here, the pail slipped off from her head and the milk spilled all over the ground. So the options here are A. All her dreams were fulfilled. B. They were shattered with the spilling of milk. C. It is not clear from the story. And D. None of these. Now here, if we read the story, this one says, the pail slipped off from her head and the milk spilled all over the ground. The milkmaid brought her empty pail and her sad tale home to her mother. Now here you can see that the pail slipped off, milk spilled. So all of the milk was spilled, and therefore she did not go to the market. Why? Because she had nothing to sell. She had nothing to sell. She could get no money. So all her dreams were shattered. The correct answer is B. They were shattered with the spilling of milk. All right. Okay, so here we have the last question. This one says, what is the meaning of pail? Now we talked about pail being a container. Now to be exact, pail actually means, here we have a few options: glass, jar, bucket and cup. Here the correct answer is bucket. Alright. Now as I told you in the beginning that reading comprehension also tests your vocabulary, and in vocabulary we include word meanings, one word substitutions, synonyms, antonyms. So here pail means bucket. Alright. So that's it. With this we finish off with our first reading passage. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so now we move on to our next passage, and this one is titled The Monkey and Dolphin. Let's read. A sailor embarking on a voyage to Greece took along a monkey to amuse him on shipboard. Off the coast of Greece, near Athens, a violent storm arose. Angry waves beat against the ship and dashed it to pieces. The sailor, his monkey, and all the crew jumped into the sea and swam for their lives. So here हम जो passage है उसकी setting पता चल रही है कि where is it set? It is set in the sea. There is a voyage taking place, and as a sailor who's embarking, he started of a voyage to Greece, and वो अपने साथ एक monkey को लेके गया to amuse himself, to enjoy himself, ताकि बोर ना हो जाए. So off the coast of Greece, near Athens, a violent storm comes. अचानक से a storm starts, and angry waves beat against the ship. Angry waves, the huge and violent waves, they started beating against the ship, and the ship broke down, dashed into pieces. So all were there, the sailor, his monkey, and all the crew. So all of them, what they did was they jumped into the sea and they swam for their lives. So now obviously they had to save their lives. So what will they do? They jumped into the sea and they swam for their lives. Then a dolphin saw the monkey struggling in the water and came to his assistance. The dolphin swam with the monkey on his back towards the shore. Then the dolphin, thinking the monkey was a man, asked, "Are you, sir, an Athenian?" Now what happens here is all of them, they have jumped into the sea, to save their lives. So this dolphin, there's this dolphin in the sea who saw the monkey, and the monkey was having struggle swimming. So dolphin went and tried to help him and said, and what the dolphin did was that the dolphin swam with the monkey on his back towards the shore. Now here was the dolphin. Okay, here was the dolphin, and here was the monkey on the dolphin's back. Alright, and then they were swimming in the sea towards the shore. So the dolphin, उसको लगा क्या है? Thinking the monkey was a man, he thought the monkey was a man, and dolphin asked the monkey, "Are you, sir, an Athenian?" Athenian is referred to the people of Athens. I'm talking about Athens here, Athens city in Greece. So are you, sir, an Athenian? Now let's see what happens next. "Certainly I am," the monkey replied. "And furthermore, I am descended from one of the noblest families of Athens." Now here the monkey also, he started participating in the conversation and says, "Certainly I am, of course I am an Athenian. And furthermore, although I am descended from one of the noblest families." Matlab I belong to one of the best families, one of the richest and the noblest of all families of Athens. Then what does the dolphin say next? He says, then of course you know Piraeus, dolphin said. Maybe there is some connection with the dolphin, or dolphin is trying to prove some point or anything. He's trying to establish some kind of relation or communication or some target. Let's see. He says, then of course you know Piraeus, you must be knowing Piraeus, because he said, I belong to one of the noblest families. So the dolphin says, you must be knowing Piraeus then. But the monkey did not know that Piraeus was the famous harbor of Athens. But the monkey did not know what Piraeus was. But he says, oh yes, I know Piraeus well. He is one of my closest friends. What does he say? The monkey says, yes, I know Piraeus very well. He is one of my closest friends. And then, what does the dolphin do? Dolphin was so angered at these lies, that he dived into the water and swam away, leaving the monkey to flounder helplessly in the sea. And then he called back to the monkey, those who tell falsehoods sooner or later find themselves in deep water. Now here, the monkey did not know that Piraeus was the famous harbor of Athens. Now, Piraeus was a place. It was not a person. But monkey thought it's a person. He said, yes, I know Piraeus. He's one of my closest friends. Referred to Piraeus as a person. But in reality, what Piraeus was a place. So dolphin caught the lie. The dolphin caught the lie. And he got so angry. He was so angered at these lies. He got so furious that this monkey has lied to me. And what he did was, he dived into the water. And he left the monkey over there. And imagine there's this dolphin who's trying to help out the monkey, but that monkey, what is he doing in return? He is lying to the dolphin. So he left the monkey to flounder helplessly in the sea, and he called back, those who tell falsehoods sooner or later find themselves in deep water. Now this is a proverb which actually means that those who tell falsehoods, the people who are liars, what happens to them is sooner or later, kabhi na kabhi, they find themselves in deep water. They are caught in their own web of lies sometimes. And sometimes, actually not sometimes, sooner or later this is bound to happen. कि वो ना अपने ही बनाए हुए एक तरीके के जाल में खुद ही फंस जाते हैं जब झूठ बोलते हैं. So this proverb brings us to the end of the passage. It is also a pretty easy passage. Now let's see its questions. Okay. Alright, so the first question says, why did the sailor take along a monkey while going on a voyage? Let's see the options. The options are A, to get his help, B, for entertainment, C. In order to sell him abroad. D. None of these. Now here we read in the beginning that why did the sailor take the monkey? A sailor embarking on a voyage took along a monkey to amuse him on shipboard. To amuse him. What does amusing mean? Matlab? To entertain himself. So here what is the answer? The answer is B, for entertainment. Alright, amusing myself means so that I don't get bored, so that I have something, to entertain myself. The answer is B. Now the next question says, what did the dolphin do when he saw the monkey in trouble? So what did the dolphin do when he saw the monkey in trouble? The options are A. The dolphin showed him the way. B. The dolphin offered him food. C. The dolphin swam towards the shore with the monkey on his back. And D. None of these. So let's see, where do we have the answer? Now here we're talking about how the ship was dashed into pieces. Then a dolphin saw the monkey struggling in the water and came to his assistance. The dolphin swam, here we have the answer. The dolphin swam with the monkey on his back towards the shore. Alright, then the dolphin, that's it. Here, so the correct answer is C. The dolphin swam towards the shore with the monkey on his back. What did the dolphin do when he saw the monkey in trouble? Answer C. The dolphin swam towards the shore with the monkey on his back. Easy, right? So what did the dolphin think the monkey to be? The options are A. An animal, B. An Athenian, C. A king, D. A sailor. Now let's see, where were we? Here. And the dolphin, thinking the monkey was a man, and asked him. They thought he was a man, and what did he ask him? Are you, sir, an Athenian? So what is the answer here? The dolphin thought the monkey to be B, an Athenian. Alright. Let's move on to the next question. Now this question says the dolphin became angry with the monkey because A. Of his heavy weight, B. Of his lie, C. He was not an Athenian, and D. He told the truth. So why did the dolphin become angry? Why did the dolphin become angry? Now we know that the dolphin asked the monkey whether he was an Athenian first, and he said, yes, I am, and I belong to the most noble family, one of the noblest families of Athens. Dolphin said, then of course you know Piraeus. But the monkey did not know about Piraeus, and he lied and said he is one of my closest friends. So what happened? Because he lied. So why did the dolphin become angry with the monkey? Because of his lie. What was his lie? His lie was that he said that I am an Athenian and I know Piraeus. So he lied to the dolphin, and that's what made him angry. Alright. Alright, so here, what is the meaning of flounder in the passage? Flounder. Now, as I told you, you always get this question of vocabulary from reading comprehension. So, here we are asking the meaning. So, where was flounder in the said? The dolphin was so angered at these lies that he dived into the water and swam away, leaving the monkey to flounder helplessly. So what is the answer? So here is flounder, and what is the meaning of flounder? Let's see the options. A, to throw away. A, to throw away. B, to swim in the sea. C, to sink in the sea. D, to struggle helplessly in water. Here the correct answer is D. Now the Dolphin left the monkey to flounder, to struggle helplessly in water, because we know that initially as well, the monkey was having trouble swimming. So when he liked, the dolphin left him to flounder helplessly in the sea. Alright, with this we finish off with this passage. Okay, so here we have the next passage, and it is titled The Holiness of Saint Joan of Arc. Let's read. Joan of Arc was a young girl of 17. She believed that if France could put together a strong army, it could free itself from foreign rule. France was at that time ruled by Prince Henry of England. Now, Joan was a simple, uneducated daughter of a farmer. Now here, what is the introduction? We're talking about Joan of Arc. Who was Joan of Arc? She was a young girl who was just 17 years of age. And what did she believe in? She had this faith that if France could put together a strong army, it could free itself from foreign rule. So here we can imagine and we can understand that France at that time was not an independent country, rather it was under the control of some other power. It was not a free or democratic country. And Joan of Arc thought that if France could put together a strong army, then they could probably, overthrow the present government, and they could free itself from that foreign rule. And who was the ruler? Who was the foreign ruler at that time? France was at that time ruled by Prince Henry of England. So who was the foreign ruler? Prince Henry of England. So now let's read more. Joan was a simple, uneducated daughter of a farmer. Girls those days did not have the freedom they have now. It was amazing that a simple girl like Joan should have such ambitious ideas. Her conviction that her country could be free was so strong that she met Prince Charles of France and convinced him that he was the rightful ruler of the country. Now we're talking about Joan and how convicted and how much conviction and dedication and strength she had. Let's see. Joan was a simple, uneducated daughter of a farmer. However, we also see that it's written, girls those days did not have the freedom they have now. Now France is an independent country. They have considerable freedom given to all citizens. But at that time, girls those days did not have the freedom that they have now. It was amazing that a simple girl like Joan, talking about simple, uneducated girl, 17 years old, and she had such ambitious ideas. Her conviction that the country could be free, मतलब उसको इतना विश्वास था that a country could be free, और उसको इतना जो faith था उसका, इतना conviction बहुत strong था, that what did she do? She met Prince Charles of France and she convinced him that he was the rightful ruler of the country. Now imagine such a little girl of 17 years of age, simple, uneducated, daughter of a farmer, but she had such strong conviction that she convinced Prince Charles that he was the rightful ruler of the country. Then what happened? After a great deal of persuasion, Joan of Arc convinced Prince Charles to allow her to command a force to relieve Orleans. So what happens next is, Joan of Arc, as we read about her, she was a great persuader. She had such strong conviction. So what did she do? She persuaded Prince Charles, convinced him to allow her so that she could command a force to relieve Orleans. And then Prince Charles gave his permission, and Joan of And then what happened? And Joan of Arc led an army of French soldiers to the city of Orleans, which had been conquered by the English. So great was the courage of her conviction that this young girl whipped up tremendous enthusiasm and patriotism among her soldiers. Now, after Joan of Arc convinced Prince Charles, he finally allowed her to lead a French troop, and this girl whipped up tremendous enthusiasm and patriotism amongst her soldiers. Now, हमने तो पढ़ा ही था कि उसकी conviction इतनी strong थी, इतनी motivated थी, इतना faith strong था. So she finally, so she also, whipped up that same enthusiasm and patriotism amongst the soldiers as well. So then they fought fearlessly against the English. And the English soldiers, they were taken aback by the fervor of the attacking French soldiers and retreated from Orleans. So what was the result? इतनी strong conviction, इतनी strong motivation थी जो उसने अपने soldiers को भी, she motivated them so much, instilled such enthusiasm and patriotism that उन्होंने इतनी fearlessly fight किया, and those English soldiers, they were taken aback, they were surprised by such strength, and they retreated from Orleans. मतलब वो वहां से चले गए, उन्होंने अपनी troops and अपना administration वहां से withdraw कर लिया. Then after this grand victory, she persuaded Charles to be crowned as King of France. She led the armies of France in many other campaigns after this and restored her country's national pride. Joan of Arc thus achieved what had seemed an impossible task through her courage and determination. Now, after this victory at Orleans, what she did furthermore was she also persuaded Charles to be crowned as the King of France, because हमने देखा ही था कि कितनी अच्छी motivational, persuasional skills थी, and she also persuaded King Charles as well. And then she led the armies of France in many other campaigns. And finally restored her country's national pride. The country finally got independence, and जो एक impossible task लग रहा था, वो Joan of Arc ने करके दिखाया through her courage and determination. Then she continued to lead the French army from victory to victory, but was captured in an encounter in 1420 and handed over to the English. Now, although she was, continuously winning various encounters, various wars, but finally she was captured in an encounter, and the English put her through a trial which was a mockery of justice. Court trial against a case against her, which was a mockery of justice, because she was going against the English interests, and those English interests, they were never in her favor, and they made a mockery of justice. Justice was not given to Joan of Arc, and burned her at the stake as a witch. Now, they burned her at the stake as a witch, and the French people, however, now what happens is the French people still adore Jane as the greatest national heroine, and she was made a saint in 1920. Alright, so this was the story of Joan of Arc. Pretty simple and pretty inspiring as well, कि how a young girl managed to convince, had such strong convincing persuasion powers and motivational skills as well, and such strong conviction that she turned the tables in her favor. Although her fate was not so favorable, but she is still called what? The greatest national heroine. Now for the French people, they adore her, and finally she was made a saint in 1920. Alright, now we'll move on to the questions. Alright, so here we have a different set of questions. Here we're given a paragraph, and in this paragraph we have to fill in the blanks. Let's see. Joan of Arc was a 17-year-old dash girl. The options given are British, French, foreign, healer. So, what do we know about Joan of Arc? Was she British? Was she French? Was she foreign? Or was she a healer? Now, we know that this story was set in France and she was a French girl who eventually became their national heroine. Right? So, the answer is B, French. Now the next option, question number 12. Joan of Arc was a 17 years old French girl who had a strong dash that her country could be free from foreign rule. Now here we read that they had, what did she have? It was amazing that a simple girl could have such ambitious ideas, and her conviction that her country could be free was so strong that she met Prince Charles of France and convinced him that he was the rightful ruler of the country. So here, what did she have? She had a strong, what were the options? A, persuasion, B, conviction, C, ambitious, D, right. Now here, the answer is B. We had a strong conviction. Conviction is a noun, ambitious here is an adjective, right? And so the correct answer is B, that Joan of Arc was a 17 years old French girl who had a strong conviction that the country could be free from foreign rule. All right. Next sentence says, she dashed French Prince Charles and convinced him to allow her to command a force to relieve Orleans. Let's see the options. She, A, persuaded French Prince Charles. She opposed French Prince Charles. C, she allowed French Prince Charles. And D, she asked French Prince Charles. So let's see the paragraph here. After a great deal of persuasion, Joan of Arc convinced Prince Charles to allow her. She convinced him. She persuaded him. So here the correct answer is A, that she persuaded French Prince Charles and convinced him to allow her to command a force to relieve Orleans. Alright. The next sentence says, the French soldiers fought fearlessly and made their way to victory. Charles was crowned as dash of France. What was he crowned as? Here we have it in the next paragraph. After this grand victory, she persuaded Charles to be crowned as the King of France. So what are the options? A, prince, B, nobleman, C, king, D, hero. The correct answer is king. Pretty easy, right? C, King of France. Next question. Joan of Arc was captured and dash alive by the English in 1420. French people adore her. The options are A, Joan of Arc was captured and honored alive. B, Joan of Arc was captured and adored alive. C, Joan of Arc was captured and encountered alive. D, Joan of Arc was captured and burnt alive. Now here we read about her that last paragraph, she continued to lead the French army from victory to victory, but she was captured in an encounter in 1420 and handed over to the English. The English put her through a trial which was a mockery of justice and burned her at the stake as a witch. So she was captured and burnt alive. The answer is D. Alright, with this we finish off with this passage. Alright, so now we have the next passage and here it's a poem. The category B, read the poems carefully and answer the questions that follow. The title of our poem is Grandpa Dropped His Glasses. Let's read. Grandpa dropped his glasses once in a pot of dye, and when he put them on again, he saw a purple sky. Purple fires were rising up from a purple hill. Men were grinding purple cider at a purple mill. Purple Adeline was playing with a purple doll. Little purple dragonflies were crawling up the wall. And at the supper table, he got crazy as a loon from eating purple apple dumplings with a purple spoon. And who's the poet? Leroy F. Jackson. This is a pretty easy and very funny poem as well. Now here what happens is the grandpa dropped his glasses once in a pot of dye. Now dye is used to color so various colors. So there was a spot of dye of which color? It was of purple color, and grandpa dropped his glasses over there. So when he put them on again, when he found his glasses and put them on again, he saw everything in purple. He saw a purple sky. When he looked up at the sky, which is supposed to be blue, he saw it to be purple. Then he saw purple fires and the purple hail. He saw men in purple, and then there was this purple mill. Everything he saw was purple. He said purple Adeline was playing. Adeline is probably his granddaughter or somebody. Adeline is a name. So even he saw even the people in purple. So purple Adeline. And what was she doing? She was playing with a purple doll. And what did he also see? He saw little purple dragonflies. Even the dragonflies were purple. They were crawling up the wall. And then what happens at the supper table? Supper is what you have in the evening snacks. At the supper table, he got crazy as a loon. Why? From eating purple apple dumplings. Purple apple dumplings. Even his food he saw was purple with a purple spoon. He got crazy as a loon, which means he got pretty anxious that, what is happening to me? Why? Because even the apple dumplings, even his food and the utensils with which he was eating, even they were purple. Eating purple apple dumplings with a purple spoon. So this is pretty easy poem. What happens here is grandpa, he drops his glasses in a purple dye and then everything is purple. This is the basic gist of the poem. Alright, now let's move on to the questions. Okay, so what is the question here? What request is made to the grandmother? A. To comb the hair. B. To dress the doll. C. To comb the fur. D. To fold the clothes. Now as we know, even the title says so, and even the first line, Granny, Granny, please comb my hair. So the request is A. To comb the hair. There cannot be an easier question than this, kids. This is very easy. What request is made? To comb the hair, right? the next question says, what is the child asked to sit on? A. A sofa. B. A cushion. C. A bed. D. A seat. Now here we know in the second stanza, you put me to sit on a cushion between your knees. You rub a little coconut oil, parting gentle as a breeze. So what is the child asked to sit on? Between her knees she sits on a cushion. And then Granny combs her hair. So she's asked to sit on a cushion. Alright. So here the question says, which oil is rubbed on the girl's hair? A. Coconut oil. B. Olive oil. C. Mustard oil. And D. Almond oil. Let's see the option. Let's see the stanza. You put me to sit on a cushion between your knees. You rub a little coconut oil, parting gentle as a breeze. So what is the answer here? A. Coconut oil. Right, this is also pretty easy. The next question says, who is in a hurry, hurry, rush? A. Mother. B. Father. D. Grandmother. C. Grandmother. D. Grandfather. Now we listen about hurry, hurry, rush in the third stanza. Mummy, mummy, she is always in a hurry, hurry, rush. She pulls my hair, sometimes she tugs. So who's in a hurry, hurry, rush? It's her mother. While what does her grandmother do? She has all the time in the world. She does it very gently and with all the patience and care in the world. While mother, she probably has some work to do. So she's in a hurry, hurry, rush. Answer is A, mother. next question says, what does mother do in her hurry? A. She pulls hair. B. She sweeps. C. She ties a ribbon. D. She dances. Now here we know that in the stanza it says, Mummy, mummy, she is always in a hurry, hurry, rush. She pulls my hair. Sometimes she tugs. So the answer is A. She pulls hair because she's in a hurry, and sometimes mistakes happen, and mistakenly the daughter's hair gets pulled, the child's hair gets pulled. So because of her hurry, and she has deadlines to meet and she has to go quickly, that's why she is not able to provide all the time and do it with patience and all the care. So she does it in a hurry, and sometimes she pulls the hair. So A, she pulls hair. All right. Now again, this is again a rhyming question. Which word in the poem rhymes with hair? A. Care. B. Dire. C. Fair. D. Pear. Now again, all these words are rhyming words, but we have to tell which is rhyming in the poem. So let's see. Granny, granny, please comb my hair. You always take your time. You always take such care. So what is the answer here? A. Care. Right? Easy question. So now who is requested to comb the hair? See here. Granny, granny, please comb my hair. So please is telling us that it's a request that she is making. Please comb my hair. So who is being requested to comb the hair? Just see. The grandmother. Granny is another slang, another word we use for grandmother. Alright, now the next question. here, who is the speaker in this poem? Now, as I told you earlier as well, that who is telling this poem? Granny, Granny, please comb my hair. So who is addressing Granny? Mummy, Mummy, she's always in a hurry rush. So who's telling all this? It's A, a little girl, B, grandmother, C, grandfather, D, a little boy. Now we know it is a little girl. Why? Because in the end, we also know that she says, you always turn my head and say, now who is a nice girl? So we know it's not a boy and it's a little girl telling this to her grandmother and her mother. So she is the speaker. Granny, comb my hair. Alright, with this we finish off with our questions.
So that's all for today's class. I hope that you have understood the right strategy for solving the reading comprehension. In fact, the right strategy is always customized. In the sense, what may be right for one student may not be right for another. So this right strategy would be developed once you practice these mock questions like we did again and again, and then you will be able to form your own correct strategy. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.